Hey everybody, Carl here, and once again we're going to try to finish up this driftwood. I know it's taking me a little bit longer. I had some problems, and I actually had to work out on how I was going to hold this here, because I've had it like falling over at times, and I thought, man, I can't do that with the oil, because I put it on there and it, you know, even a day later it falls over, it's wrecked. So, all right, first of all, we're going to take our liquid clear, remember we talked about this before, and we're going to put this all over the areas that we're going to paint. And that's going to put a wet coating of oil on our canvas, our wood, and that's going to allow us to be able to do a technique we call wet on wet, where we have wet paint and we're mixing it with other wet paint. We don't wait for it to dry for 2 days and come back and do something else. We do it all at once, and we can actually mix paint right on our palette, or in this case on our driftwood. And you remember in the last video we prepped it, and I put these acrylic paints down because that's going to be our base. I didn't want to paint on the wood. I wanted to have a regular base to work on, and I colored the different areas so they will help come through, because a lot of our paints are actually a translucent kind of paint. So that should be more than enough. Believe it or not, it doesn't really take a lot of liquid anything, liquid white, liquid black, or liquid clear. Okay, so we'll dry that off there. Now we're going to have to we're going to be putting our paints on our palette here. Okay, and we're going to start out on the sky. So we're going to probably put all my brushes together here. I think I'm going to put something down here so I can have a place to lay them, because I have different brushes I'm going to use for different things. And so okay, we have sap green there. We're going to be using that. Midnight black. We'll definitely use that, and our white, and I've got some extra white. I made sure that we had extra. We needed it. Van Dyke brown. There's our white. See, we didn't have that much left, so I wanted to make sure we had enough of that. Here's our phthalo blue, which is one of my favorite colors, really. And I'm going to lay some of that down here right now. I'll start over here at this corner here. Put a chunk of phthalo blue down. And we got yellow and red. We're going to be using those. Let me take in alizarin crimson. We'll put these down here more. Crimson right there. Probably won't need as much of that. I do want to get the bright red, because that's a good mix. It's very powerful. Remember, using a little bit goes a long, long way when it comes to brilliant red. And keep that in mind, because you might want to put just a little touch and all of a sudden you have all this red in it, and it takes forever to get it out. So keep that in mind. Put some more yellow right here. Put sap green over here. Now the beauty of this is you got to remember that you can, not only do we have some of the colors, it makes it a lot of times a lot easier just to have the color instead of trying, you know, but we can mix colors and make our own color. So that's always a plus. Okay, here's our Van Dyke Brown. Okay. Over in the corner, I'm gonna put our Midnight Black and our white over here, because you got to remember that the black and the white, you know, they're used to create our values. If we want to make something light, we can add white. If we want to darken it, we can add the black, and that makes it real easy too. So not only are they their own colors, but they really work with us with all the other colors too. I'm gonna put a big old bunch of white here. I know we're going to use it. Okay. So now you got to remember, now our painting, if you remember right, and you can look back on what the original painting was looking like, but this is where our shoreline comes down, and right about here is going to be our horizon line. And if you remember, we have some, like a sunburst that's going to be coming out of the clouds right here in the middle, right here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with that area first, and I'm going to take a little bit of yellow here, and I'm going to mix in a touch of our white, and I'm going to start that right in the center. Okay, so let's start this right in here. Okay, we're going to have that, and it's going to be coming out a bit too. So take a touch more yellow, add to that. And then remember I told you about, you got to be real careful with the red. I'm going to touch just a little teeny piece of red and add to it. Okay, so now I'm going to work that right around here. And I'm going to add a little bit more red. I mean, I hardly touched that. And look at the difference. So we're going to bring that out around here. I'm going to kind of move it out a bit. Okay, now later on we'll dial in and we'll get a real bright spot there in the center if we can. But now what I want to do, clean my brush. And I'm going to go into the phthalo blue. Now, if you remember, we kind of wanted the rest of the sky to be blue, so that's what we're going to do. And I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to go with a little bit bigger brush. Okay, let's go with this one. Let's I'm going to drag that down and fill the brush up. And I'm going to start working over here. Now, as a lot of you probably know, that if you mix blue with yellow, you're going to get green, and we don't want green in our sky. So I'm going to fill in a lot of this area around this with just phthalo blue. And I think that's going to look real good. But what I'm going to do, I'll show you, this gets a little tricky too, but we can even bring this down on the horizon. If we want to put clouds in it or something, we can go right over that because of our wet on wet technique. So we'll just let that fade off this way, and we're going to let this one just fade off that way for now. And bring this down to here, and you see we got some areas that are close to this. And what I want to do is I'm going to take just a tad, I'm going to pull some of my blue down, I'm going to take just a touch of red, and I'm going to mix it with my blue, and I'm going to add just a touch of white because it's almost too dark, and I don't want it to be that dark going around the light color. But what I'm doing is, because I'm mixing in the red, I'm turning it into almost a violet, and I want to turn it into a light violet, and that way we won't get the green effect that we normally would if we just put the blue and yellow together. So let's see how this is going to look. Touch that there. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Okay, now we'll bring that around. We'll add to this too a little bit, but I'm going to blend this in here eventually too. Right up above. Right into the wood itself. We're going to add right up here. Yeah. Nice. Just going to brush that in. Just like that. I'm going to come here and mix this a bit. I'll come here and mix this a bit. So it kind of fans out. Now I'm going to come back with another brush, and I'm going to real easy, do it real easy like, it has some streaks, and I'm going to pull it. I'm going to pull it this way. Okay. Clean that. Got that brush clean, and we're going to use it again. So I'll put it over here in this pile here. Now, while I've got that going, remember I said we're going to do a little bit of white right in the center here. I'm going to just use my finger. I'm going to create a white circle. Do that again. Now we don't want like a hard sun. We just want to think that there's something back there that's peeking through, and that's what it is. It's our sun that's coming through the clouds, and it's letting all those different colors break through into the atmosphere, mixed with those clouds in that area. Okay, so I'm going to real lightly, just ever so softly. Nothing even about it. Doesn't have to be even. It doesn't break through evenly. You know that. You've seen the sun. and how it comes through. Okay. So now, for the most part, the beach is going to be almost white. We'll put a little bit of colors here and there, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty white. What I want to do first is where they meet, I'm going to take some black, and I'm going to take some Van Dyke brown, and maybe a little bit of sap green in there. Let's mix that together. Let's see, we're going to go along the horizon line. Okay, I'm going to stretch that out there, and I'm going to start bringing that in. Here we go. Mix some more of that. Now we're actually going to pull it in just a little bit past that. Let me add a little bit more black, a little more Van Dyke brown, more sap green. Okay. I'm just going to fill that in there. We don't know what that is back there. We just, probably trees, land, we don't know. It's out in the distance, so we don't know. Okay. So now, we got two areas where we can cover. We have water over here. We have the beach on this side, and then we have like some rocks and some things right in here that we're going to kind of want to be able to see them, but they're going to be, we want them to look like they're under the water, but for the most part, right now, we're going to work on our water here because we're in the dark colors. We'll continue on to that. I hope you guys have noticed how easy it is that you can blend right in here while you're doing this. Now, when we first put what we're going to do is we're going to just put the color of the water in the different areas that we want, and then whatever wave action or whatever stuff we want to add to it, we will do that after that. So I want to get this part here, I want that to be more dark. Okay, so I'm going to feel the blue. I'm getting just a tad of this brown, just a tad of this green, because, you know, light green does reflect, it's just we don't want a lot of it right now. And just a tad of black. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start filling this in. See how dark that is way out in the distance? That's that water that's real deep. It's dark out there. And as we start getting closer, we're going to mix a little bit of white in. Okay, I'm going to start pulling that in here like that. As it gets in, I'm going to mix. Let this get dark. Now I'm blending as I go. I'm looking at the different colors and what I might want. And the beauty of this technique is I can blend as I go. Okay, that's a little too light, so I'm gonna see if I can get even more dark. I'm gonna bring my value down with some black. It's the same color, I'm just making it black. So, let's see. Okay. It's almost turn it into a gray there, which is like I said, out in the distance the water is very dark, especially when it's deep, because when the light hits it, the light's going into it, and it's not bringing out, it's not reflecting off anything on the bottom, so it's just sinking in, and that makes it dark. So when you look way out in the distance, and if you don't have caps and that way out there that will reflect up, it'll look very, very dark to you. So that's what I'm trying to do right now with there with where the water is. Trying to make that nice and dark for us. A little more darker right there. I'm going to extend this off into the blue. Okay. Right now. Now I want this to lighten up now as we start coming in a little more towards the shore. We're going to start getting it a little more light. See right there, you can barely see the where the horizon actually is. So get our water here. It comes in. Now we're going to this area that comes from here. I want to start bringing in, make it a little even lighter. It starts coming towards us. Now, this area in here, I'm going to take a little bit of our phthalo blue and a little bit of our green, okay? And I can even take a touch of yellow in with that and help the green come out even a little bit more. Because what we want to do now, this area here, we want this to be too dark. That's better. We're almost losing our stones. I'm gonna try to bring them back here real quick for us. I might have to get in your way. Right. Keep rubbing that and rubbing that, and you'll see that we actually can see those stones underneath. Okay, they don't jump out at you, but we can see them. Okay. I'm gonna do that one more time, just like that. I'm actually using the undercolors also, see? That's one of the reasons why we did that undercolor there. Because now it has a clear oil over it, plus the colors that we want, the green tint. And I'm going to put some brown in here. I want to put because the shoreline usually has a little bit of brown, you know, where the sand and the water mix. So I'll put a little bit of that. I'm going to do that right in here. This is probably the wrong brush. I'm not going to use this brush. So. I'm going to go with a smaller brush. Let's try this brush here. Yeah, I'm going to put that brown color in there. That's part of the shoreline. Okay. Now, before we do anything else, I'm going to come back with my larger brush again, paint it real good. I think we're going to add the white beach area now. We'll get that done. And let's see how we can. Okay. I'm going to add some more clean white for us. Put that up here in the corner. Okay. You know what? We'll start way over here. Nice white area over here. We may have some stuff that's out there and bring the beach. I know because the person I'm doing this for asked to have a very nice white beach, you know, and that's, you know, a lot of people, that's to them, that's, most beaches are not white. You think of them as white, but really they're not. They're more of an off color because it's all reflection, right? So, but the beauty of it is, because this is our world, we can make it any color we want. And we can make it very white. And I am gonna add some different colors as we get close, because when it gets close to the water, the colors do change. It wouldn't look right. It'd look weird, kind of. So I'm gonna add some of our yellow over here, and I'm gonna take some more of our white here. And I'm going to add just the teeniest, I mean the teeniest part of orange to that too. Okay. Now I'm going to start right in here. And we're going to blend that in eventually. Okay. There's our line. Now, see, it still looks white, right? But there's a different color there. And I'm going to blend it out right into our beach area. Stretch it out up there. Stretch it down here. So they blend in. And once again, we're blending using our wet on wet technique, which is, I think, is just fantastic myself. I really do. Let me poke this area out here. We are going to, we'll do some stuff with this here. Okay. Now, we're going to have some foaminess that's going to have to come in right here. And I'm going to add a little bit in this brush here. Now, foaminess is going to have some it's going to have like blue and a little bit of green with a lot of white, and that's the white is going to be the foam that we're going to bring in. So right here I want to add a little bit of brown of this right here, just at the shoreline. Okay, so where it kind of starts here, it just kind of comes in here like this. We won't see it so much down there. We're going to see it here. Okay, so we need that where it's coming on right on the beach itself, where the sand's right underneath. You see it. Okay, good. So we've got the white. Before we bring the foam in and start working the water, I want to put some clouds in. And normally I did that before, but because I had the dark colors going, I thought it would just be good. Just, hey, let's go for all those colors. And I gotta tell you, I'm looking at this at an angle, which is kind of weird. And if you're painting, I wouldn't advise doing it that way, because you really, you kind of lose your perspective. So I'm gonna have to, just for these clouds, I'm gonna have to jump in here, and I'm just going to do some stuff like this. Like that. Let's have some out in the distance where they're just rolling along. Okay. See what else. All right, for this next thing, see if this will work for us. Now I'm going to have to get in our way for just a second, because I want to very carefully. Just gonna do this. Just want to blend in as best I can, not touching the tops. Blend them in there like that, and blend them in like that. Just kind of blend it. And I'm just going to real lightly bring them up like that. Very, I mean light, I'm barely touching the canvas. Okay? And I'm going to put a couple more in there here real quick. This is one of my brushes. There it is. This is a horrible setup, but it's the only way I have to do it. So I don't have any other place that would really work good for this. But I'm going to use my liner brush, and I'm going to get some my liquid clear. I could even use the paint thinner. I think I'm just going to make a little puddle right here, a liquid clear. And I just dip that in that. Here, I'm going to go into my white. I'm just going to squiggle some lines. Just real easy here. You gotta make sure you clean it every time you use it. Little whispers that just kind of come through. See? Like I said, it's so small, it's hard to do that. Try something here. See, some of the stuff I'm doing, it's kind of hard to do because I'm doing it on a hardwood and the acrylic paint's over it. And, you know, this area just, it looks so blank. I don't like that. Well, let's see if I can screw it up. Okay. Okay. Ah. You know, I don't know. I really don't know what else to add to it. I mean, it's supposed to be a simple scene, you know, beach scene. And I think we've captured that. You know, and being this small, you start fiddling with it too much, and it just, you know, it'll get away from you. I might later on. I might come back and might do some touch-ups on it. I'm gonna have to give it a couple days to dry to really check it out and see what I want. But I think we've got our colors where we want them. We got the white sand beach that they wanted, the shoreline. We got some light waves coming in. You know, something. You know, any body of water that big is going to be rolling a little bit in. And I think we've captured that. We've got a sun that's peeking through a dark sky with clouds in it, and so I think we're going to let that go then. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed watching this, and I think sometime in the future here, before I turn this over to the owner, I'll probably take a picture of it so I can show you here on how it came out. But until then, thank you everybody. I always appreciate all of you so much. I can't, you know, I know I say that a lot, but I'm telling you it's the truth. I really do. I enjoy all of you. It's like I'm here with a bunch of my friends, and that's always, I enjoy that a lot. For some of you, if you're just new to the channel and that, you want to, you know, doing some painting, we do all kinds of stuff. We do some music stuff. Mostly we do electronics, but we're not limited to that. And that's the beauty of that, you know. So if you like this and you haven't subscribed yet, you know, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you join us here. And that way, you know, if you want to see more of this, it'll pop up and you subscribe things, and you'll be good to go. And you know, if you like it, you can hit a like. You know, hopefully you liked it, but if you didn't like it, you could always hit dislike too. Leave me a comment. I always try to answer them. And until then, I want to say, hey everybody, thanks again. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And please, be good to one another, because right in this time more than any, we really, really need it. So, okay everybody, take care, and see you later.